Hey everybody, Sarah here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today back in Roboquest doing the Inspector Gadget achievements. These are for finding all 11 gadgets in the game. So thankfully you can grab the first half fairly easily without any real special requirements. So make sure you hop into the game. First one we are going for is going to be the Battery Burger. This one is going to require that you find Buddy Bot first, so refer back to that guide if you need help finding him. He is always going to be located in the first combat area of Canyons. Once you have him, make sure you bring him with you. You're going to head into the first safe room. Make sure you take the Oasis path, which is going to lead to you getting Oasis for your second level. And then once you are here in the Oasis starting room, with Buddy Bot in hand, make sure you turn your attention to the left, go under the right waterfall, and then use Buddy Bot to unlock this door. Inside is going to be a couple of things, but the most important thing for this particular achievement and the gadget that's going to be involved is going to be the pair of swim trunks right here in the middle. So make sure you grab that. That's going to be a quest item. We're going to need to return these to their owner. So make sure you leave, grab your loadout, and make sure you get into the Oasis combat area. Now, while you are here, you are going to need to pay attention to your mini-map. You're going to want to look for the orange shaded zone, which is going to be the secret area, and that's going to contain the owner of the swim trunks that we need to return to. So just make sure you look for it. Of course, the level design is going to be random because it is going to be a roguelite. So make sure you just run around the place, and then once you spot that orange shading on your mini-map, head in that direction, clear out the area, and then once you're ready to look for the secret, you should be able to get there a-okay. So your secret area in Oasis should have this general appearance. You're going to want to look for the waterfall. You can actually head behind this one as well. Once you are in here, this is going to be the hidden sanctuary. There's going to be the spear that you would pick up in order to unlock the ranger class. But more importantly for this particular quest, we're going to need to find the NPC, talk to him to hand him his swim trunks back, and then he should give you the Battery Burger gadget in return. That's going to be our first gadget, which should get us the first achievement of the set for 5 gamer score. Moving on to gadget number 2, make sure you hop into a new run. This one is going to require that you find 3 very specific weapons in a very specific order. The first weapon you're going to need is going to be the Blunderbuss. Once you find this, you're going to need to take this with you until you get to the safe room in Fields. That's going to be the 3rd level, assuming you go down the traditional path of completing Canyons and then going down the Oasis path and then defeating the boss at the end of Oasis to get to Fields for your level 3. Once you are here, make it to the safe room, and then you're going to find an NPC there that's going to ask you to photograph your weapon. You're going to need to show him the correct weapon, and he's going to ask for 3 different weapons. The 3 weapons he's going to ask for in the specific order is going to be the Blunderbuss, the Junk Rifle, and the Sheriff's Carbine. So make sure you show him the Blunderbuss, which is going to take care of the first weapon. Then he's going to ask for the Junk Rifle. Now, you're allowed to carry up to 2 weapons with you at any one given time, so bare minimum, this is going to take 2 separate visits. Now, unfortunately, because there's no backtracking in this game, you are going to need to find the weapons before you get to that point in Fields. On the positive side, you are able to do this over multiple playthroughs, as he is going to remember whatever weapons you have previously shown him. The downside to this, of course, is you are going to need to show him the weapons in order. So, more likely than not, unless you get super lucky with the game's randomness, this is probably going to take 3 separate runs, hoping that you pull the correct weapon out of the starting chest. Of course, I am going to recommend that you upgrade the chest at the workshop so you have more options for weapon pulls, so you have a higher chance of pulling whatever you need out of it. Nonetheless, once you do get all 3 to him in the correct order, you should be good for the cooking gloves, and that should take care of gadget number 2. Moving on to gadget number 3, this is going to be expanding upon our Spare Some Change achievement guide. This is going to require us to head over to the ruins. If you need more info on how to get the ruins door open, do check out that guide, because we are going to be continuing off of that. Long story short, you're going to find the key in the Oasis safe room, and then you're going to need to head back to the Canyons safe room on a separate run. Turn to your left, use the key on the door, which should allow you to go down the ruins path, and then have ruins for your level 2. So make sure you get into the ruins starting area. If you look to your right, there's going to be an NPC right here named Wall Street Slim. If you talk to him, he's going to ask you to give him a power cell. After doing that for the first time, you should be given the Spare Some Change achievement. Now, what you can keep doing is you can keep giving him power cells on subsequent runs, and then you're going to have a certain random chance of him giving you the next gadget. So basically what you want to do every single run is you want to make sure you start out in canyons as you normally would, get to the first safe room, and then take the ruins path. Along the way, you're going to want to make sure you try to find a power cell, or you want to make sure that you play well enough so you get a high enough ranking where the game gives you a bonus power cell. Make sure you head into the ruins starting area, and make sure you head on over to him, hand him the power cell. Hopefully you get the gadget sooner rather than later. If not, just make sure you keep restarting the run, and then eventually your luck should hold out where he does eventually give you the business briefcase. So to move on to gadget number 4, this one is going to require that you have something that gives you a little bit of jumping mobility. The earliest thing that you could probably get is going to be to unlock the Commando class, which is going to require that you get 750 total cumulative kills. Once you unlock Commando, make sure you take him with you into a run. Your goal is to make it over to the quarry, which is going to require that you have it unlocked first. If you require more information on how to do that, do check out our guide on how to get the shovel or our guide on how to flip the lever for the Easter egg in the quarry. But to sum up that long story, basically you're going to need to find the quarry key, which is going to be located in the tech room in the safe room in Fields, which is also going to be behind a locked door. The key to that door is going to be located in the secret area in the ruins. So after all that's taken care of, make sure you head into the safe room in Canyons and make sure you take the right path, which is going to take you down the quarry path and then eventually into the actual quarry. Once you're here, make sure you grab your loadout as you normally would and then head into the first combat area. Once you are here, you're going to need to find the corrupted bonus zone. So you're going to want to look on your mini map and then look for the purple area. You are then going to want to clear out the area directly in front of the entrance to the bonus zone. You are not going to need to complete the actual bonus zone level, so make sure you just avoid that. But once the coast is cleared, make sure you look up. You are going to notice a bit of scaffolding right here with another NPC atop of it. So to get up to them, what you want to do is you want to make sure you take advantage of that jumping mobility thing we discussed earlier. Again, there's going to be a number of different options that allow you to jump higher. Of course, the earliest one you could probably get is going to be Commando's rocket jump, which is going to be what we're going to do here. But you can also take advantage of Recon's blink or whatever you have. Nonetheless, just make sure you look for a spot in the environment to use your ability, get onto the scaffolding, talk to the NPC to hug it out with them, and then in exchange, they should give you the Pogo Stick. Moving on to gadget number 5, this one is going to require that you have the shovel, which you can find in the quarry secret area. Again, we are going to have a separate guide if you need more information, but nonetheless, once you have found the shovel, it should be available as an option in your starting loadout. Once it's available to you, make sure you start up a fresh run and make sure you bring it with you into the combat area of Canyons. You're going to want to look around. There's going to be these randomly placed things called dig spots. They're basically going to look like glowing stars in the ground. You can go up to them, and if you happen to have the shovel in your hand, you should be able to hit the Y button to dig them up. You should dig up a random item. For the purposes of what we're trying to do here, our goal is to find the next gadget in the form of the Explorer Slippers. Now, obviously, due to the random nature of the dig spots, this is probably going to take you quite a bit of tries. Thankfully, this is going to be the start of the game. So if you exhaust the combat area, just make sure you restart from the beginning, grab the shovel again, and make sure you keep doing tries until you find a dig spot that has what you're looking for. There's also going to be another thing that you probably want to look for as you are trying to find the Explorer Slippers in the form of the hidden data log here, so make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that. But nonetheless, once you get lucky enough to find the Explorer Slippers, you should pocket them. This does also happen to be our 5th gadget, so we should be good for the 2nd achievement in the set for 10 gamer score right here. Now, moving on to gadget number 6, which is going to be the last of the easy to find gadgets at the beginning of the game. This one is going to require us to bring a fire weapon with us into the safe room in Aqua Station. So this is also going to require a little bit of luck with the randomness. Hopefully you can pull a fire weapon out of the starting chest. If not, you're going to need to find one along the way. So make sure you pay very close attention to any chests that you come across or any drops that the enemies are going to have. The best way to get to Aqua Station is to head down the quarry path, so make sure you take that down. Then once you get to the actual quarry level, you're going to need to beat it. I'm going to recommend you take the normal path, which is going to end in a boss fight, so make sure you do not head into the excavation site. Hopefully along the way your luck holds out and you are eventually able to grab a fire weapon. Once you have it, make sure you keep it safe with you through the rest of the quarry level and the boss fight. That should take you over to this entrance of Aqua Station. Make sure you keep heading forward until you get to the safe room. So you're going to have this bit of combat right here that you can blow past, get into the safe room. Once you are there, this is going to be your last opportunity to pull a fire weapon out of this chest. And if you happen to have one in your hands by the time you get to this point, you want to make sure you look behind the hub area right here. There's going to be a block of ice. Make sure you hit it with anything that does fire damage. That should melt this NPC. Interact with them. They should collapse, but more importantly, they should give you the Hero Cape gadget. So this is going to bring us to the hard gadgets. These next two are going to heavily revolve around the power crystals. I'm going to recommend you grab them while working on those. But to quickly fill in the gap, what we're going to need to do is we need to make sure we unlock the Recon class. Once we have them, we're going to head over to the excavation site, which is going to be the secret area in the quarry. Once you are there, make sure you use the Recon's blink ability to blink up to the ledge, which is going to take you to the level called the pit. In the pit, we're going to need to look for the cinema ticket, so make sure you pick that one up. It's hard to miss, but we are going to need to beat the pit in order to get the red crystal. Once you have the red crystal, you should unlock Heisenbot as part of your safe room camp. Once you encounter him for the first time, you're going to need to buy the fusion core key from him for 9 power cells. That's going to be the key that opens up the locked door in the safe room in Aqua Station. So just make sure you take that path that we took earlier in order to get to the safe room in Aqua Station, then use that key to open up the locked door. Follow this path down, and eventually you should be taken to the fusion core level. Then we're going to need to beat this level in order to get the yellow crystal. It's going to be a pretty challenging level, so hopefully you are ready for it, but most importantly for this particular achievement, we're going to need to make a little pit stop once we get to the safe room. So make sure you play until you get to the safe room. Once you are here, you're going to notice that the hub is going to be surrounded by this obstacle course right here. At the end of this obstacle course is going to be a quest item that we're going to need to grab in order to get our next gadget. So to start the obstacle course, make sure you start out with the jumps on the left, make it up here to the corner. Then we're going to have some lasers we need to dodge. Of course, if you are doing this on a lower difficulty and are more daring, you can just tank your way through the lasers. You can't tank your way all the way to the end though, so be a little careful. Using a mobility character is going to be super useful, so I do recommend using Recon for their blink. But nonetheless, make sure you get to the end and then grab that quest item. Take the bounce pad back, and then we can continue on with the level if we are still going after that yellow crystal, which you probably are if this is your first time through. If you are coming back here because you forgot to do the obstacle course, do feel free to cut your run short. However, if you do go on with completing the level, it should take you to where we need to go next, which is going to be Haven City. So once you get to Haven City, in order to get the gadget, you are going to need to have the cinema ticket as well as that quest item, which is going to be called Randy's Nose. You're going to need to look for the cinema, which is going to be the red secret area on the map. It's going to be behind a locked door, which is going to require the ticket to get through. So make sure you look for it. It's always going to be on the edge of the map. Use the ticket to open up the door. Once you are in here, make sure you look to your left. There's going to be an NPC right here called Randy. He's going to be looking for his nose. Make sure you give it back to him, and he should trade you the Jetpack in return, which is going to be the most useful gadget and is going to be a necessity in getting the rest of the achievements as well as beating the game on the harder difficulties. So this is going to bring us to the next gadget, which is also going to be here in Haven City. Now, this one is going to require that we have all 6 power crystals unlocked already. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you grab the rest of them. Once you have all 6 of them, head to the secret area in Haven City. Again, that's going to be the orange shaded area. Make sure you scale the mountainside on the left, and then in here is going to be this door. This door is going to be locked until you get all 6 power crystals. Once you have the door unlocked, head on inside. That should lead you to the bot cave. In here in the middle is going to be the next gadget in the form of the grappling hook, which, like the jetpack, is going to be a very useful mobility item. Moving on to the next gadget, this one's probably going to be the most simple to explain. This is going to be the sunglasses. This just requires you to beat the game once. It can be done on any difficulty, and you are going to have to beat the game several times anyways, so you're probably going to get this on your own naturally. So just beat the game once with whatever conditions suit your fancy. You can get it done with any character, you can do it in co-op if you must, but just make sure you get to the last boss, make sure you defeat them, and then once you get back to base camp, you should unlock the sunglasses, which is going to be a nice risk-reward item. That should bring us to the final 2 gadgets. Both of these are going to be tied to another form of collectible in the form of the data logs. I am going to recommend you check out our upcoming guide for those. There's going to be a total of 51 that you need to pick up in order to get all of those achievements. Now, for the sake of getting all of the gadgets, you are going to need to find 35 out of the 51. So, you are going to notice there's going to be an NPC in the safe room in Canyons, off to the left right here. Once you have at least 5 data logs collected, make sure you talk to said NPC, and they're going to give you your next gadget in the form of the roller. And then what you want to do is you want to make sure you keep collecting data logs until you get at least 35. Once you get 35, make sure you talk to him again, and then he's going to give you the metal detector, which is going to help you find the rest of them. But that should also be our 11th and final gadget, which should get us the last achievement for this set. There it is. It's going to be for 20 gamer score, and that's all there is to it.